Hello YouTube family, Greg D here with TGN, and we are back for another DCUO video. And today, upon request, we are bringing you an updated atomic DPS loadout. So first, let's remind you, please keep in mind, look at the combat rating of the character, 100 versus the sparring target 126. So the numbers will be a little lower, but this will just go to show you the ease of the atomic loadout itself, how to do it. We'll go through the rotation and show you the potential that this loadout has. Now, atomic, I wouldn't say is like a top tier, like in that top echelon of DPS powers right now, like sorcery, like earth, like ice. Well, maybe not even ice so much, but atomic is probably like on par with, let's say, quantum, munitions, that kind of thing. For those of you who have played ice or fire or mental or quantum, this will be pretty much the same thing. We're going to be using just the loadout itself. You don't need any weapon attacks at all, so bear with that in mind. I should say, remember that you want to spec just might. You don't need a combination of precision and might. In the case of atomic, you just want to spec might because you are just getting yellow ticks regarding the damage. So without further ado, let's get right into the power trees here. So in your radioactive tree, you're just going all the way down the middle to get Geiger Beam, and then you're getting 2 on the right to get Atom Powered Assault, which is an attack buff that we will use in the loadout. In your nuclear tree, we're going 3 down the middle and 3 down the left to get Geiger Blast, which is something we will also use in the actual loadout itself. We'll also be using Nuclear Burst and your iconic powers. We have 3 left over. So as per usual, get your 2 DPS ones. Weapons Expert, Tactical Genius, give yourself a better chance of hitting crits. And I had 1 left over, so I just put it in the tank power, 200 health, just because atomic is a tank power and, you know, whatever. But you can put that wherever you want. I see some people putting it like in Neo Venom Blast or Neo Venom Boost and using it in their loadout, but I don't know. I don't really see the point of doing that. So with the loadout itself, so from left to right here, where you have Neutron Bomb, Thermochemical Explosion, Geiger Beam, Geiger Blast, Nuclear Burst, and Atom Powered Assault. So basically what we're going to do in this case is we're going to start with clipping Nuclear Burst and Atom Powered Assault, and then going from left to right. The loadout itself is really easy. The rotation is really easy. We do have Geiger Blast and Geiger Beam. Geiger Blast is going to be used in melee situations. So by the time, if you're, let's say, in close range of a boss, of adds, especially like in early content, solos, duos, things like that, you are going to be using Geiger Blast at the end of your rotation. Now, if you're in like higher end alerts, raids, survival mode, kind of things where you're going to be in like a mid to long range, you're going to be using Geiger Beam to finish your rotation. So just keep that in mind. So let's explain some of this stuff here. So as you see here, power interactions adds a nuclear pressure stack. Once you have 3 stacks and gain 6 molecular charges, you will get a special aura, Quark Gluon, and will activate or refresh. So basically it says continue bombarding enemies with explosive energy balls, damaging and possibly stunning or knocking them down. Each additional attack grants you a molecular charge. So basically what happens is once you get enough of those pressure stacks going, you'll get a special aura around you and you'll end up doing a little bit more damage, which is a very, very cool thing. So as you see here, the attack buff, empower your attacks to deal additional explosive damage. Activates your aura if you have at least 1 nuclear pressure stack and at least 2 molecular charges when this is used. Restores power when nuclear pressure stacks are applied. So as you see there, this is a way for right now, before they change this all with the stats revamp, you will be able to get power back using this rotation and this loadout. And as you see there, as long as you have 1 nuclear pressure stack, well, hey, guess what? We get a nuclear pressure stack from this bad boy. So wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so we go over here to Neutron Bomb. Adds another nuclear pressure stack once you have 3 stacks, and you'll get the Quark Gluon. So basically, as long as you can keep this rotation going, you will have the aura around you at all times, and you will be able to, one, do a little bit extra damage, and two, get yourself some power back. So that's, you know, a beautiful thing. Once again, adds a nuclear pressure stack. Once you have 3, blah, blah, blah. Create a localized nuclear explosion, damaging and knocking down enemies in front of you. Very, very good. Geiger beam here. If you have 3 nuclear pressure stacks, the blast is amplified, dealing heavy damage to enemies. Same thing. Geiger blast is pretty much the same thing. So it's kind of, this reminds me a lot, like I said, of it's like ice, it's like mental, it's like quantum, it's like fire. You're basically just going to be going through the loadout itself, not using your weapon at all, as I mentioned. And in a lot of ways, it hits like quantum does. So like in the first few powers, you'll notice that you're not really hitting too hard, but by the time you hit like Geiger beam or blast, depending on, once again, where you're at in comparison to the enemies you're facing, you will be hitting for really, really big numbers at the end. So let's show you the rotation here. So basically all you're going to do is just kind of like how it was with quantum. So you're going to clip these two, and you're just going to go through. Now, see, I'm kind of like at a distance there. So as you see, it started off with like a 3,000 hit and then went up to 8,800. So if you're back here, like if you're in the mid-range, you're going to use Geiger beam. So you're going to be back here. Just like that. Now, if you're up close, like let's say here, you're going to be using... Whoops, I hit the wrong button, damn it. And boom. Okay, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Okay, let's reset here. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. There you go. See, now you're hitting for like 11,000. 11,000, which, keep in mind, 11,000. Like I said, keep in mind, one, that this character doesn't have a lot of skill points, and two, the combat rating is lower. But in comparison, if I was using a character, my main character, that's like 175 combat rating and has, you know, over 130 skill points, those numbers would be huge. So really, like I said, this loadout's really, really simple. Not much to it. Like I said, just depending on where you are in relation to the enemies will dictate how you finish the rotation, whether you use blast or beam. So once again, if you're like in a mid-range scenario, you're going to be using Geiger beam like that. If you're in a closer, if you're closer to the enemy, you're going to be using the Geiger blast. Oh, and as you see there, did you see that? That hit for 23,000. So you can definitely get them going. Woot. Boo, see, 23,000, yeah. There we go. There we go. So, there you have it, my friends. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Lots of potential here. Like I said, probably not a top-end DPS just because it does take a while to get the damage up once you get to the end of the rotation, kind of like quantum, but you can still make it work. You can still do a lot of damage. You can still have a lot of fun, and the animations look really cool too. So with that being said, guys, we're going to conclude this episode right here. So let me know in the comment section below if there's any more DPS loadouts that you'd like to see. I'll bring them to you as fast as I can. And, you know, as I'm able to switch around some powers and whatnot. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you soon.